To fling my arms wide in some place of the sun, to whirl and to dance till the white day is done, then rest at cool evening beneath the tall tree, while night comes on gently, dark like me. That is my dream. It was the mid-1920s, and America was alive. A new community of young authors, poets, musicians, and artists were gathering in Harlem, a small neighborhood in New York, New York. The community was unlike any America had seen before. A young artist described the scene before him. Here, one found a kaleidoscope of rapidly changing colors, sounds, movements, rising, falling, swelling, contracting, now hurrying, now dragging along without end and often without apparent purpose. One felt the presence of a mysterious hand fitting all of these disparate elements into a whole, to be realized, to be understood, only in time and from a great distance. This was Harlem, a vibrant swell of music and life, literature and poetry, dancing on the tips of the tongues of dreamers, shaping the language of a generation and preparing a movement of its own. To fling my arms wide in the face of the sun, dance, whirl, whirl, till the quick day is done, rest at pale evening, a tall, slim tree, night coming tenderly, black like me. A variety of figures rose up as leaders during the Harlem Renaissance. Langston Hughes, a respected black poet, quickly became one of the voices shaping the language of the time. His life's work, spanning through both the Harlem Renaissance and the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, greatly influenced how the movements express themselves and how we view them today. Many of his poems express the values of the black community, talking of freedom, oppression, segregation, and overall, the dreams of his people. Now dreams are not available to the dreamers, nor songs to the singers. In some lands, dark night and cold steel prevail, but the dreams will come back, and the song break its jail. During the 1960s, the language of Harlem was embraced by a new generation. Poems, music, and art instilled pride into the black community, and gave the language of freedom to a generation willing to stand for it. Poems about dreams became dreams themselves in the mind of the youth, and the civil rights movement spread throughout our nation. No longer satisfied with the status quo, an oppressed generation rose up. The Montgomery bus boycotts, lunch counter sit-ins, and freedom rides gained national attention. While leaders stepped forward to address the masses, opposition confronted the movement. Threats, beatings, and deaths churned throughout the South. Some government leaders worked to ignore the movement, while others waged war against it. Armed forces, water hoses, and dogs were used to suppress the dreams of a people. Men and women were thrown into prisons, and the words of Langston Hughes stretched across time. In some lands, dark night and cold steel prevail, but the dreams will come back, and the song break its jail. The bars of segregation across America were breaking as leaders like Martin Luther King gathered the masses. In 1963, 250,000 people, black and white, gathered in front of the Lincoln Memorial to listen as King's famous words, "I have a dream," translated through time, echoed from the podium, and resounded in the hearts of the dreamers before him. The language of Harlem, of Langston Hughes, of the Civil Rights Movement, and of Martin Luther King transferred across generations. Now, in 2012, wars rage, genocide and slavery still exist, sex trafficking is a growing industry, racism and hate crimes affect every level of our society, and so much more. From government corruption to over 1 billion people without fresh water, change needs to come all over the world. And the question remains, will we, our generation, embrace the language of the past? Will we let a history of action end with us, or continue on to change the world? Bring me all your dreams. Bring me all your dreams. from the tomb. Bring me all your dreams. Bring me all your dreams, you dreamer. Bring me all your heart melodies. Bring me all your heart away from the two rough fingers in a blue cloud cloth. Away from the two rough fingers of the world.